Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at how does he feel in your absence. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Before we dive into your pile selection, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Keen. So this is how my best friend almost ruined my relationship. It started with a missed call from Emily on my boyfriend Kyle's phone at a weird time. Then I saw a missed call from Kyle on Emily's phone as well. I wondered why they'd call each other while I'm at work. My heart raced. I trust them, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I felt uneasy about Emily before. A year ago, I noticed how she and Kyle seemed to click, sharing jokes and glances that made me uncomfortable. Once I even caught Emily smiling at a message from Kyle, and when I asked him about it, he said it was private. I just dismissed it as paranoia due to my trust issues, but the doubt lingered. The new incident made my old suspicions resurface. Kyle became more secretive, always on his phone, which was unusual for him, and Emily started cancelling plans last minute, which wasn't like her. Everything seemed off, and my anxiety grew. I confronted Kyle about the call, but he brushed it off as a mistake. But when I asked Emily, she said she didn't even remember calling at all. Their vague answers made me even more anxious. I needed to know the truth, so that's when I decided to consult with a tarot reader from Keen. I browsed Keen's website, searching for the right psychic for my situation. I found one specializing in relationship readings with great reviews. But it was her energy that caught my attention, so I decided to consult with her, hoping she could reveal the truth. I explained my fears and asked for clarity. As she began typing, I just felt a gnawing anxiety, fearing the truth I might hear. She told me the cards speak of betrayal, and my stomach dropped. Then she added, but they also speak of celebration, a union of hearts. Confused and frustrated, I asked, what does that mean? Her vagueness felt like torture. The truth lies in what you choose to see. The betrayal may not be what you think. Sometimes the heart sees what it fears, not what is real, she responded. I left the chat more confused than ever. Over the next few days, her words echoed in my mind, turning every interaction with Kyle and Emily into something sinister. The final straw came when I saw Kyle and Emily together at a coffee shop, speaking in hushed tones. They didn't see me, but I saw enough to confirm the worst. I left in tears. Back home, I felt broken. How could they betray me? But as I paced around, the tarot reader's words returned to me. Celebration? Union of hearts? Could there be another explanation? The next day, I decided to confront them. I know something's going on, I blurted out. Just tell me the truth. Kyle and Emily exchanged a glance, then smiled. We were going to tell you tonight, Emily said softly. Tell me what? I demanded. Kyle pulled out a small velvet box. We've been planning a special anniversary surprise for you. Our 3-year anniversary is next month. Emily helped me because you trust her taste more than mine. My mind reeled as everything fell into place. The strange calls, the secret meetings, the cryptic conversations. It was all for me. I felt a flood of relief and guilt. The tarot reader's words made sense now. The betrayal was actually my own mistrust, twisted by my fears. I hugged them both, tears streaming down my face as the weight of doubt lifted. They've been planning something beautiful for me, not against me. So I realized that sometimes trust means choosing to see love, even when fear blinds you. I hope you enjoyed that little nugget of my personal life, and if you've had thoughts about something you need clarity on, Keen connects you with talented psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can get a reading whenever it suits you. Just create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. Each reader has unique gifts and specialties, so whether you need insights on love, career, or life in general, they can provide deeper understanding and guidance. Choose whichever reader best suits you, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. It's always best to get a personal psychic reading if you'd like more accurate information on your situation, because it is directed only to your energies. Now, here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 5 minutes for only $1. Go to trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description box below to receive a discount on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this partnership opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychic-siren-tarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So, getting back to your pile selection. For pile number 1, we have Specular Hematite. For pile number 2, we have Malachite chrysocolla. And for pile number 3, we have the Golden Cat's Eye. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile, pick whichever one you are most drawn to with your person in mind. Hopefully by now you have picked a pile. If not, you can pause the video. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose the Specular Hematite crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at how he feels in your absence. Please be aware that this is a general reading, so only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you find yourself enjoying this reading, then please consider hitting the subscribe button if you want, of course. Also, I do have a limited amount of space for personal readings available, so if you'd like to book with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. Now, before I get into what I see with your specific pile, I want to give a disclaimer. So, your reading might not tell you what you want to hear, but it is going to tell you the truth of how this person truly feels, and it's going to tell you what you need to hear. So, if you're not up for that kind of reading, then I would suggest clicking off right now. Your card just says Voodoo in Blue, back off, and as I shuffled the cards for the intro, I was pretty shocked to see this card come out. So what I take from this is this person, now this might sound a little bit harsh, but they don't want anything to do with you. It feels like he is sort of pushing you away with his energy. So I will try my best to get messages on how he truly feels, in your absence. But even as I'm in his energy, it almost feels like he's blocking off my energy from being able to read his emotions. It feels like he's cut off his emotions towards the situation with you. And it feels like he doesn't want to even be involved in this anymore. It feels like he just wants to move on from the situation, which is fair enough and understandable, but it also feels like to him, he doesn't want to receive any messages from you or any calls from you or anything at all. Like, he doesn't want to talk, period. And I don't understand why, but let's find out why he feels this way so we can get a clearer understanding into this energy. What is interesting, though, is I just saw the angel number 222 and I saw 22 here, with this card number. So that could be a significant angel number some of you have maybe been seeing, or just with a specific meaning for this specific reading. So why does this person feel pile number 1 was back off from them? Why? Why do they feel this way? So we have I am Kali, from death comes rebirth. And we have Fairy of the Divine Hand with intoxication, distorted view, overindulgence. Okay. At the back of the deck, we have Ghosts of the Pumpkin Patch with Count Your Blessings. I'm hearing that you serve as a mirror to this person. You may have mirrored things within them in the connection that they may have needed to heal from, or address for themselves internally and vice versa, where they may have mirrored things to you that you may have needed to look within with. As I'm in the energy of this pile, I feel like this was maybe a connection that was a little bit more unstable, a little bit more toxic in nature, and it almost feels like this person believes that you and him don't bring out the best versions of each other. He believes that you were merely a lesson in his life, that this relationship was a lesson meant to teach him something. He does feel a gratitude for being able to be in your life and have this experience of love with you, but he also feels as though the love wasn't exactly healthy for him and isn't exactly something he sees himself enduring in the long term. After getting out of this relationship, he feels as though he's begun to see things a little bit more clearer now that he's not in it anymore. The reason why he's pulling himself away from your energy pile number one is not because he didn't love you. He did love you. He did care for you, yes. But right now it feels like, as he's looking back on this connection, he feels as though he was too caught up in you and your life and too caught up in this connection that wasn't healthy overall. He feels as though he was sort of addicted to your love and it wasn't good for him. So he feels as though he may still go through those withdrawal symptoms where sometimes he questions if this was the right decision that was made. But eventually he comes to the conclusion that it's better you two stay apart from each other, because if you two are in each other's lives, you may just end up hurting each other more. And this is why he feels as though he needs to push you away, because he feels as though maybe you and him both have a distorted view of love and haven't been able to give each other that healthy version of love you both deserve. And maybe he feels as though distancing himself is the best option because he doesn't want to hurt you and he doesn't want to get more hurt. And he believes that maybe there is a person out there that can give you the type of love you want and him the same. So again, when I say he sort of is pushing you away and distancing himself from you, even in his mind, it's not because he doesn't care or that he didn't love you. He did. He just feels as though this is best for both of you to let go of this, because maybe it hurts more to hold on and be stuck in the same cycle for years on end. And that's not what he wants for both of you. It is 111 on the clock right now. And this person feels as though he did everything in his power to try and save the connection, and it just didn't happen the way he expected. Now, if his feelings don't match up to how you see the situation, understand that everybody has their own perception of things, and it might not be your perception of things. But what I do see as well with I Am Kali here from Death Comes Rebirth is he felt as though he has already healed from this connection. He feels as though he's already let go of it. And so he doesn't want to keep engaging in this because he's already let go of it. Now I'm hearing a song called Gabby by the Internet, and you may want to listen to that song if you feel called to. But basically in that song, she talks about chasing after a woman named Gabby in the airport. I think they broke up or separated or something. And she says one line that I'm hearing so clearly in my mind of, I wanted you to be the one. So this person, he feels as though he wanted this to work. He wanted you to be the one. He also hoped for that so badly. He longed for that. But now he has come to accept the truth of the matter that maybe this wasn't the right relationship for him. That maybe you weren't each other's true love in the first place and just a karmic or just a lesson to each other. I don't think he'd say karmic in his mind, but if you know about karmic relationships, they're not necessarily our true love, but they're here to show us lessons and help us learn about ourselves, help us heal something within ourselves through maybe a more unhealthy or toxic cycle. I do also feel with this card here, Spirit is saying something feels literal about this card. He feels like a part of him literally died with you. He feels as though he lost a part of himself with you, and he will never get that back. He treasures your memories, I'm hearing, and he will never forget you. But he also wants to sorry, my grammar. He also wants to be able to let this go and not overthink on this or ponder on this too much, and stay present within right now and focus on right now instead of the past. But he will still never forget you, because there were still good moments in your connection that he truly appreciates. And since our hand is over her heart chakra, facing us, it kind of reminds me of, when you say, I'm sending someone love from afar, I wish them the best. That's how he feels right now about you. He wishes you the best. He's sending you love from afar. And he also wishes that you find love that is your true love. So now let's get into the tarot cards and see what else comes up here. How he feels in pile number one's absence. How he feels in pile number one's absence. So we have the Six of Cups, which is a card about the past. Interesting. We have the King of Swords. We have the Two of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Ten of Pentacles. And we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. Interesting that the Four of Swords came out in reverse because, okay, let me explain what I'm seeing here. As I'm talking, I hear ringing in my left ear, confirmation from Spirit for what I'm about to say. Don't take this personally, pile number one, but he feels as though he has found peace for the first time after releasing you from his heart, after releasing any emotions to do with the situation, because he felt as though when your connection ended or when you two separated, when something severed in your connection, he felt as though he was constantly overthinking about this. If the right decision was made or not. He felt as though maybe he was making the wrong decision, but maybe he was making the right decision. So he felt very restless in the sense of not knowing what to do next, in the sense of not necessarily knowing what is right for him. And I think he took some time for himself to heal, to go within, ponder about this, think about this through, about your memories with the Six of Cups. And I do think to this day, he does still think about you and reminisce on the happy memories you have together. But he tries not to think too much about the past. Like I said before, he doesn't want to live in the past and he wants to focus on now, because he felt as though when your breakup took place or when something separated, it's like he felt as though he was constantly thinking about the past and not truly being able to have fun and experience the now and be able to enjoy the now. With the people around him, he felt as though he was becoming more distant from others and himself, where he felt as though he was like isolating himself, and he found that that wasn't healthy for him at the end of the day. He felt as though that anxiety and restlessness wasn't healthy for him at the end of the day. So it's not that you made him feel restless, but the situation did. So now that he has let go of it, he feels as though he has finally found peace and quiet within his mind. And that's what I felt when I was getting your tarot cards out, because I heard the birds chirping outside and I felt like, whoa, there's so much peace right now and quiet right now. So maybe he feels as though now he's let go of it in his mind. He's no longer confused or stuck on this in his mind, and he's come to a conclusion to let go of this so that he can find peace internally. Bittersweet to hear, but I'm happy that this person found peace. There may be different reactions to me saying this depending on how you feel about him in this situation. And if there are any strong reactions to this, I suggest looking into that feeling and investigating it, why it is there in the first place, because that will truly tell you what you maybe need to heal. And if you don't feel anything about this at all, then congratulations, you probably have also let go of this and you're also starting to begin to find inner peace. So what I want to say here is this person does sometimes wish they could go back in time and change things, but maybe they have come to find peace knowing that maybe everything happened the way it was meant to and for a reason. I think he still does feel a sense of passion towards you. And I think when things ended, there was a sense of a little bit of anger, but nevertheless, there is still a feeling of passion here. I do think he still finds you attractive, and I do think he still reminisces sometimes about your good memories, but the bad memories also make him feel sad. With the Ten of Pentacles, he was hoping that this would turn into a long-term connection, but it didn't happen the way he wanted. And now he feels as though he should at least try to learn from whatever happened here in your connection so that the same mistakes are not repeated. He understands that it takes two to tango in the connection. You both probably hurted each other or did things that were wrong to each other. Or maybe it was only one person doing all the hurt. But that doesn't matter. What matters now is that this person is trying to learn from the experiences here and is trying to change their perspective, find a healthier perspective of love, and not repeat the same mistakes in his next relationships. He feels he owes this to himself because he feels as though he couldn't bear to go through the same thing again. That's how he feels now in your absence. Before we end off, I'm going to pull some more oracle cards to just get any more messages that are important about how he feels right now. The one good thing he does remember and reminisce on and appreciates that he hopes he can find in his next relationships is the fact that he felt with you he could be his true self. With you, you accepted all parts of him, even the more negative parts that he perceived as unlovable. And for that, he will always appreciate you. Your relationship may have not been easy, but you did try your best, and he can acknowledge that. And so did he. You may have both, or one of you may have faltered at times, but there is a sense of appreciation and gratitude that he feels like I got to be myself with this person, and they just understood me. They just saw me. I got to be fully vulnerable and open with this person. So that is how he feels right now. We have lapis lazuli with third eye chakra and consciousness. We have aragonite with fire element and initiation. And we have emerald with Mercury in reverse with cognizance. So Mercury reverse kind of lines up to the first card that was chosen, about him not wanting to communicate or speak. He feels as though it's pointless, again, not because he doesn't care about you, because he feels as though he's already moved on. And he feels intuitively like he needs to take a next step into love and not focus on the past. With the fire element and initiation, this card talks about a new beginning. So he feels as though maybe he is ready to move on right now. Maybe he's ready to go into a new relationship, or at least begin to open himself up to love again. Again, he does feel a lot of passion towards you with the fire element here, but he feels it's best to move on from this and to focus on his future instead of the past. And this is what his intuition is telling him, so we can't blame him for feeling this way. If there is a negative reaction, of course, or a negative feeling you may feel listening to this. If you don't, then that's okay. That message doesn't apply. He does sometimes dream of you, and in those dreams kind of communicate to him what he still hasn't released about this, that he's not aware of. Any emotions he may have that still linger about you. And it is opening his eyes to creating healthier connections in the future. He does want to change something. So I don't suggest that you reach out or try talk to him, because he would most probably ignore that. And if you are listening to this and you still do want him back, I totally understand that. But what I will say is holding on to somebody that has already let go is only going to cause you hurt and pain. So even if it takes time to be able to let go of this person, it's best to do that. But at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your decision making. And I'm not telling you to just get over it. That's not at all the message I want to give. But what I do want to say is feel your feelings, validate them, accept them because they are valid, and sit with them and try to find healing through this. Try to understand what happened here. And that is all I will say for now. So I really hope this reading resonated with you, pile number 1. Sending you so much love, a big hug, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number 2s. If you chose this Malachite chrysocolla crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at how does he feel in your absence. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you find yourself enjoying this reading, then please consider hitting the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with what I post daily. Also, if you'd like to book a reading with me, I do have a limited amount of space for personal readings available. So if you'd like to book, you can find my email address in the description box below. So your card says Carnivorous Flower Fairy, a tempting offer, has a high price. So we're going to investigate what this card means for you. But what I want to say as a short disclaimer, I feel as though the energy in your pile may be a little bit heavy. So I am going to give that disclaimer in advance to only watch this pile when you are in the right headspace to receive these messages, because this reading might be a little bit heavier, but it may still be healing nonetheless. So let's go ahead and see what other oracle cards come out. After that, we'll get some tarot cards, and then after that, we'll get more oracle cards. So, Spirit Guides of pile number 2, Spirit Guides of pile number 2. How does he feel in their absence? One strange thing I feel in your reading, because I am clairsentient, I feel energies, is I feel like coughing the whole time. I feel like my throat chakra is blocked off and restricted. And it was 13331 on the clock when we started. Interesting, after I shuffled, this is the card that is at the back of the deck. It says Death in the Maiden, Invasion, Boundaries Dominated, Boundaries Violated, Dominance, sorry. This is going to be very triggering. I already see it. So trigger warning. Some of you could have been in an abusive relationship with this person. Some of you could have been in a very unhealthy, toxic connection with this person where he didn't respect you or your boundaries, where maybe for some of you, he was very dominant, very aggressive. Maybe for others of you, he was very hostile, I'm hearing, and cold, and he didn't really care about your feelings or care about the actions or things he said to hurt your feelings. And maybe for others of you, he was very possessive, where he invaded on your privacy and things like that and didn't trust you. And it feels like he was sort of projecting onto you in some way. And for others of you, I'm seeing like a controlling energy. So it's different for all of you. But, you know, as I'm in this pile, I feel this flood of emotions coming through. And I feel so much compassion for you, pile number 2, because you never deserve to go through this. I want to speak about my own experience with this because it may help someone here. I don't want to speak about myself because this reading is about you, so I'll keep it short and sweet. But I was in a relationship with a person years and years ago when I met him when I was 19, I think. And the relationship was good at first, but the one red flag I didn't see was how he love bombed me at first. I was in a relationship with a narcissist previously, and I didn't see those red flags and signs. I saw them, but I only realized after. He love bombed me for a year. We got together, and he cheated on me so many times. Trigger warning. He sexually abused me. So I understand what you're going through, pile number 2. When I'm talking about this, I understand what you're feeling and know that you're not alone through this situation. And if you ever need to talk, you can email me, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm always here, okay? Or even in the comments. So if you do comment something, please be respectful to other people in the comments, and you're more than welcome to share your stories if you want, of course. So I feel very hot in the energy as I'm in this energy, so it feels like I almost want to crawl out of my skin. It feels like I have a strong anxiety in this pile, and I think right now the reason why this is coming up is because the cracks are starting to show. He's starting to realize what he has done wrong to you. He's starting to really grasp the feelings he has left you. And now he is starting to feel it. When I took a look at this malachite crystal, I felt very drawn to it for your pile because I was picking out different crystals and none of it seemed right. But when I put this one over your card, it just felt like it was meant to be. And what I want to mention is this malachite crystal is kind of like falling apart and decaying. I have no idea why. I don't know why, but it's like there's little pieces of the crystal coming off. So maybe this person, he feels like things are sort of falling apart in his life. And I wouldn't be surprised if this person is receiving karma right now. Even there's like little piece of crystal coming off when I carry it. But I wouldn't be surprised if this person feels like things are falling apart in his life. Like he's getting some sort of karma, or he's scared of the karma he might receive because of what he knows he's done to you. The thing is, he's run away from this for so long, trying to not take control or responsibility for his actions. But at the end of the day, he's questioning, whenever he thinks about you, he's questioning if he's a good person or not. And he's realizing that what he did to you was not okay. He's realizing his faults, if that makes sense. And it's coming with a lot of guilt and shame. That's what I'm feeling, like an abundance of guilt and shame he's feeling for how he has wronged you. And the thing is, with the throat chakra energies that I felt earlier, usually to me that's a bad sign. When I do a reading for someone, it means that that person made you feel like you couldn't speak your truth. So sometimes that can look like I'm speaking my truth and this person's gaslighting me. Or this person doesn't care about my experience or my emotions and validates them. Or this person straight up ignores me and does the same thing again. Or apologizes, then does the same thing again. Then I feel unheard and I feel like this person doesn't care about me anyways. Or sometimes this can look like I'm speaking my truth, but this person makes me feel so unsafe to speak my truth. I stop bringing things up. So that could look different for all of you, but this person may have restricted your voice, restricted you from speaking up. And now this person, he feels like he's restricted from speaking about this experience because he knows if he speaks to you, he knows you're going to call him out. He knows you're not in that vulnerable place anymore where you would even be manipulated by him. And there's something about him knowing that he can't speak about this to anybody else because if he was ready to tell the truth is right there. It's clear that he was the one in the wrong. He was the one that hurt you. So let's see what else comes up. How does he feel in their absence? We have Lantern Fairy, a clear solution. And we have Snow Angel, the signs are with you already. You could have received some signs. I feel like pulling one more card. Storm Angel, collision of beliefs, styles, attitudes, and energies. So the one thing I will say about him, I think in the beginning, when things broke off between the two of you, he tried to deny his own wrongdoings. He tried to put the blame on you, or he tried to take responsibility off himself and run from his emotions. There was a great amount of chaos that was felt as things ended between the two of you, and it is being felt even more right now. That feeling is being amplified even more by the day. That feeling of chaos and things falling apart, a storm within his heart. I see him feeling as though you're sort of cold to him right now. The snow angel's reminding me of somebody that's now cold. Maybe you once cared for this person so much, regardless of how he hurt you. But now it feels like if he had to come back, he would try to tempt you with an offer that you can't resist, and you would be cold to him. You would be aware of his tactics to try and reel you in, and you wouldn't fall for it because you're now more aware of what has happened. So he feels as though you are cold to him. You have shut him out, and you will never let him back into your life, rightfully so. It's fair enough. I can't blame you for feeling that way, Pile, too. And whatever you feel towards this person is valid. When I went through this experience with my ex, I felt anger for the longest time, and I was even scared of my own anger because of how much I felt it. So I understand whatever you're going through. He is wondering what you feel towards him. He's wondering if you told anybody about this because he's scared of his reputation being ruined. And he always tries to clean up his reputation and sort of plant seeds in people's minds so that they don't suspect he was the one that was doing all this. When people ask him about this connection, I see him just saying, like, I don't want to talk about, like, being very hostile in some way. Storm Angel, he feels as though you and him don't see things the same way, but he tries to deny things that went on. He feels as though you and him are very different in nature, and that it's like things wouldn't work out between the two of you. You two would just clash against each other and cause more of a volatile energy in your connection if you had to be together. I do think this person still is attracted to you in that way. I feel like this is a very sexual person. Like, when you were with him in a relationship, he always wanted pleasure from you. And I feel like he still feels that towards you right now. But I don't necessarily see him caring too much. I know that sounds like a slap in the face. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, pal, too, but I don't feel so much emotions of like love, but I feel more sexual feelings, if that makes sense. I do think in his own twisted mind there was a sense of love there, but it was not a pure love. It was not an innocent love. It was a very toxic, filled love. It was a poisoned love, if I had to say that. And there's something about him feeling in your absence like you two wouldn't get along today. Like you two would fight like cats and dogs. I'm seeing that clairvoyantly. I'm seeing a cat and dog fight in my mind. So, but then I'm also hearing chase. So he would feel the need to chase after you if he had to speak to you today, but that you would push him away. So that's how he feels right now. I'm trying to grasp his energy. It's just so triggering to me. So just bear with me, pile 2. His energy is very triggering. A clear solution. What is this about, Spirit? In his mind, his version of a clear solution is to just not think about this. What Spirit is showing me is, you know when someone puts a pile of clothes on their floor and then just ignores it for like weeks and doesn't fold it. Spirit is showing me that. So this person, his version of a clear solution is to just ignore it. Whenever it comes up in his mind, just ignore it. Don't look at it. Don't like address it. And what I want to say is a lot of narcissistic people are like this. They lack accountability. They don't look at their own actions. They avoid it. So this is not surprising to me, but it is what I'm seeing. He's very confusing. I don't fully understand the way he thinks. I see it, but I don't understand why it is. Let me get some more cards and get deeper into this energy. So the interesting thing that I'm feeling and sensing from spirit. So let me just explain what's coming through to me intuitively. Firstly, I'm feeling a heartbreak in my heart chakra. So I think I'm feeling your heartbreak and pain, but maybe even his, but I feel like it's maybe more yours. And then I'm hearing that song by Enrique Iglesias where he goes like, I can feel your heartbeat. But instead, Spirit is telling me like, I can feel your heartbreak. So maybe this person knows that you're heartbroken and he senses it, he feels it. He saw it, that you were heartbroken, that he hurt you. And dealing with that is like too overwhelming for him. So that's what I see. I don't think you would ever get closure from this person. The thing is, this person feels like that type of person that runs away from taking accountability. Maybe one day he would come to his senses and apologize to you, but I don't want you to wait around for an apology from him. He's aware of what he's done, but he tries to run from it. And that's the message that keeps coming through to me from Spirit. So even as I'm trying to tap into his feelings, it feels like he tries to disconnect himself from his own feelings, where I'm not even able to tap into his feelings because he's not fully feeling it, if that makes sense. So we have the Magician. We have the High Priestess in the reverse. I think your intuition told you that something was off with this person. You didn't fully trust this person. But this person is a good manipulator. They know how to sort of make things kind of like match up to the outcome they want. Manipulate the circumstance. So I think he thinks right now he's aware of how he manipulated the situation because he saw that you didn't fully trust him. But every time he saw that, he tried to manipulate and change the way you saw it. And he did this as a conscious choice with the Two of Swords. So that to me is very alarming. You know, I don't even want to be in this energy. It just feels very triggering, but let's go on. Four of Pentacles. I think he still holds on to the thought of you, and I don't think he's fully let go of you in his heart. Two of Cups, he thinks he still feels love for you, but I don't think this is a healthy love. Not at all, no. Ace of Swords, he still thinks of you a lot. One more card, Ace of Cups reverse, but he's aware that this isn't the type of love you deserve. I do think he misses you and still longs for you, but he knows that you deserve much better. I think that he's a very calculating type of person. Whatever he's done to you, like, he's aware that he did it. He calculated that decision, and I know that's very hurtful to hear. I feel so bad doing this reading. I don't like tapping into energies like this. And the Tower's at the back of the deck, so again, he feels like everything's falling apart for him and he can't stop it. I want to get some oracle cards now. I just feel very uncomfortable in this person's energy. Like, please bear with me, pile 2. Trying my best. We have Pyrite with Mars and Momentum. Okay, how does he feel right now in their absence, please? Apophyllite, Jupiter, and Curiosity. Okay, so he does still check up on you. And Red Jasper, Etamon Star, and Conviction. So what I'm seeing in his energy is he does still think he loves you, but he wouldn't come back. In his mind, he's thinking that because he thinks that you would fight with him or cause an argument with him. Mars energy is the energy of conflict, anger, aggression, war. That's the planet Mars. And this card to me always reminds me of like calling people out on their BS in depending on the context. So he feels as though you would call him out on his BS, and it would just build up very fast into a conflict or a fight if he had to try communicate with you today. And the thing is, he doesn't want to look within the mirror and see himself as wrong, because that would just bring an ego death to him. That would make him question all his life decisions and the things he's done wrong to people. I think part of him is scared of admitting that to himself, scared of admitting that he might be a bad person. The thing is, he feels very ungrounded. Like he wants to lie to himself in his mind and believe that he didn't do anything wrong, but deep down he knows he was wrong. He feels ungrounded. He doesn't fully believe his own lies, no matter how much he tries to convince himself. He did feel lucky that he got to be with you with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of luck. And he has been curious towards you and where you're at right now in your life. He has seen growth with you because Jupiter is also a planet of expansion and growth. So he's seeing growth within you where you're not the person you once were. And he's seen you slowly start to heal from this. I do think he feels bad and guilty and full of shame. But he's also curious as to what you think of him, since this curiosity is opposite the Ace of Swords. He's curious if you think of him as a bad person. Calcite Moon and transitions at the back of the deck, and what I intuitively feel is he's scared of change. He's scared to change himself. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. This is what I see in your reading pile 2. I'm sending you so much love, a big energetic hug. I do hope this reading resonated and was healing and brought a sense of clarity and peace, even though the messages were quite heavy and triggering. But I do hope that it brought something to you that was good, like a healing. So yeah, if you did like this reading, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pal number 3s. If you chose this golden cat's eye crystal and this card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at how he feels in your absence. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. If you find yourself happening to enjoy this reading, then please consider hitting the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with what I post daily. Also, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I do have a limited amount of space available for this month, so you can find my email address in the description box below. So your card says, Ghosts of the past returns for a time. And when I was pulling your card for the intro, this card kind of reminded me of that movie that was like Girlfriends of something like Girlfriends of the Past, Ghosts, where they were like Ghosts of the Past or something like that. What is that movie? Oh, Ghosts of Girlfriends Past. So this person kind of feels a little bit haunted by your memory. He feels like he can't fully let go of this. I do think that he almost feels like a part of you will always be there with him, even if he tries to move on. So that is the first thing I'm sensing from this card. When he met you, he felt like you were the most beautiful person he has ever laid his eyes on. I feel his energy, and even though I mentioned that movie, I do feel like you and him had quite a good relationship, even if there were some things that weren't that great. I feel like overall your connection was quite positive, and for a lot of you watching, it never ended on bad terms, but for some of you it did. And maybe that is what's haunting him. But for most of you watching this pile, I feel like there was a lot of love in this connection, and this connection brought him so much joy and peace. The one thing I will say is he felt like you had a heart of gold. You were the one person that truly cared for him like no one else has in his life. He felt like he could rely on you. He could count on you. I'm even struggling to speak now. So he can't he struggles to say this to people, but he feels it. Like you were the one person that cared about him more than even his own family and friends. And that was very hard for him to experience because he thought the people around him cared about him, but you were the one that cared the most. He saw that, like whenever he was having a bad day or whenever he was stressed out or sad, you were like his comfort. Because Spirit was showing me a vision of someone standing in the rain and you're the umbrella. And it's almost like you were the one that made all the rain go away. He does realize now, though, that sometimes he expected to get happiness out of you when he should have tried to find it within. So that's one thing he can admit to himself that he shouldn't have done, trying to find happiness out of you. And that's not fair on you because you can't give him happiness. Another thing I see here in terms of how he feels right now in your absence, he does miss you a lot. And he feels like when he tries to talk to new people, he feels like he self-sabotages because he still misses you. So I'm seeing him go on a date, for example, with a new person, and he's talking to the person, and let's say she says something, or they say something, or he says something, whatever this person's sexuality is. The person on the date says something that reminds him of you. Then it's like he all of a sudden feels this rush of emotions, like, I can't fully move on from pile 3. Why am I on this date? So I see an energy like that where it's like he looks everywhere and everything reminds him of you. Spirit is showing me a meme that I've seen on Instagram where it's like, it's a little bit of a sexual kind of video, not video, but like a little bit of a sexual joke in the videos people have made on Instagram where it's like they're seeing something, for example, and they're like, oh, this reminds me of her or him or them. And it's something a little bit more sexual, like a sexual innuendo. So say, for example, let's say she's putting lotion in her hands and it reminds her of him. If you get the sexual innuendo, I'm seeing that in my mind. So he does also reminisce on some like sexual memories you have together, and he felt like you truly pleased him sexually. So he does still feel attracted towards you. He does still care about you emotionally, and he still feels attached to you, although you're no longer in his life physically. He still feels as though he's living in the past and that he can't move on. Let's get some more cards to get some more messages and info. So, interesting note, I'm smelling weed intuitively. I don't know if this person is smoking or drinking to try and escape from their problems, but it doesn't have to be a substance, but maybe this person's trying to escape through something like games, other people, going out with their friends. I don't know. They're trying to escape in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so how does he feel in pile number 3's absence? What Spirit is showing me as a metaphor, I'm tasting food. And I'm tasting Spirit is telling me, imagine yourself tasting the most delicious food ever. And now you're cut off from this food, from this most delicious food. And now you only have normal food. And you miss this delicious food and you long for the taste of it, but you don't know where to find it. We have Witch at the end of the world, an important end, a new beginning. And we have a clockwork pumpkin, a wonderful idea, the aha moment. I want to clarify what this new beginning means and what this idea is about. Clarify this, please. Mildew Fairy Cleanup Time. At the back of the deck, we have Mend a Broken Heart Fairy Healing from Heartache. So this person's currently healing their heartbreak from this connection. He's still very sad about it, as you can see this image. Like, she has tears running down her face with mascara. He's still very sad about this. He's still healing. His heart is still wounded from this. And he's wondering if you have moved on or not, if you're still healing or if you are okay now. He wants the best for you. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. He is trying to clean up his life. He is trying to clean up his act, get his shit together, is what I'm hearing from Spirit. Sorry for my language. And he did get certain realizations recently, like aha moments of, oh, this is why it ended. Oh, this is like, it's kind of giving you this feeling of him realizing certain things, of why things went wrong in your connection in the first place, why things couldn't work out in the first place. And I think now that he's healing, I think with due time, he is going to be able to accept what happened and find a new beginning with this. I think this could be different for all of you. So I'm seeing variations of energies now. So I'm seeing for some of you, this person could try to come back into your life after cleaning his life up. He's had this wonderful idea of how he's going to make it up to you and try to start a new beginning with you. But he does realize that it is going to take time to, start over with you, start on a fresh, clean slate with you. And he does know that there is never truly a clean slate, that you two will have to work on things together. It will be hard, but he believes it's worth it. That's what he feels for some of you. For others of you, he feels as though the heartbreak is too much and as though you wouldn't want him back. So he feels he's forced to have to move on, to try to move on, even though he feels like it's literally impossible, because Spirit is showing me someone trying to climb a huge mountain and feeling like it's impossible, it's too much. So those are the two variations of energy I see. For others of you, is there another energy? Was that all, Spirit? For others of you, I'm seeing with the second energy that I just mentioned, this person's friends could be, and family and people around him could be telling him like, it's time to move on. It's been a long time. Do you think pile 3 is still worked up over you the way you're worked up over them? So maybe that could be why they believe you wouldn't want them back, because the people around them are telling them, it's been so long, like, just move on. Like, why are you still crying about this? Like, it doesn't feel like the people around this person have empathy for this person. And he feels as though you were the one person that truly nurtured him, that truly cared for him, that truly made him feel like he could be himself in front of you. He feels like he has to wear a mask around the other people in his life, which I don't feel like the other people in his life truly care for him the way you did. And he feels like he can't fully be himself with them without being judged. And with you, he never felt the need to protect himself. He felt like he fully trusted you, and he felt like he could be himself fully without wearing a mask, and you accepted him as he is. So that's one thing he does appreciate, and he hopes that he can find again, either through you or maybe in another relationship if he does move on. So let's get your tarot cards. Let's see what comes out. But for a lot of you, I don't feel like this person has moved on or wants to move on. He still feels pretty attached to you. So I guess just take what you intuitively feel. And if you don't know which energy variation is his, then I just suggest waiting to see what happens. With time will tell. With this image here, it makes me think of time will tell. And if you feel like you haven't moved on from him, then I guess just give it a little bit of time. I don't think now's the right time yet, because I feel like he's still going through his healing, which is necessary for him, I'm hearing from Spirit. And if you come in too soon, if you do want him back, of course, then it might disrupt the healing that needs to take place for a new beginning to be able to take place. But there is hope because I'm tasting the food again. So it's like you can get a taste of this again. There is hope if you do want this person back. The number 5 showing up twice makes me think of a change that's happening internally for him. We have strength. So although he is hurting, his heart is strong. And what I want to mention that's so uncanny, look at this crystal and look at this. That's just so weird. Very, very weird, but cool at the same time. Okay, how does he feel in pile number 3's absence? King of Cups. King of Pentacles. So the thing is, like, even though he's tried to move on and go on dates with new people, he still feels a sense of, like, I need to be loyal to pile 3. I can't move on from them, even though you're not together. 8 of Swords. But he also feels stuck because he doesn't know how you feel about him. He doesn't know if you want him back or not, or if you just want him out of your life. Ace of Pentacles, he is hoping here. He is hoping for a new beginning with you. A new chance. But with the 4 of Cups, he feels a little bit like... How do I explain this? So Spirit is giving me a little bit of a metaphor. Let's say we know we're going out tonight. And we know we're going to have a fun time tonight. But waiting for that fun time feels like waiting forever, feels so boring and stale. And it's almost like we feel so excited for tonight that we just want time to pass and we want tonight to happen already. So it feels like he wants to jump in time to the new beginning with you. The 6 of Swords, he's definitely going through a change and transition, a healing within his energies. So what I see here with the King of Cups, this confirms what I said. He still feels a lot of emotions towards you. He still feels very attached to you. And with the King of Pentacles, he's also trying to focus on his career right now. He's trying to focus on his responsibilities right now and not neglecting that due to what he's feeling emotionally, like the hurt and the pain and the heartbreak that he's healing from. With the 8 of Swords, he feels a little bit stuck because he feels like his emotions can't let him focus on the things that are important, but he also feels like something's changing and he feels hopeful for the future, like only time can tell what life brings to me. So I do think he still wants something with you. He still feels attached to you, but he also wonders if something has changed with you, if you want this or not. So that's what I see consistently as a message. The 4 of Wands is at the back of the deck, so he feels like maybe something good can come out of this, and he's hoping that, okay? He feels like he wants to also get his life together, because if he does come back to you and everything like that, he doesn't want to come back the same person. Like, he wants to come back changed. He doesn't want to come back feeling like I haven't done enough work on myself. Okay, so he knows that you deserve a king, and he doesn't want to come back as just a knight, if you get what I mean. That's what I'm hearing as a metaphor from Spirit. We have aquamarine, water element, and intuition. You may already intuitively know what he's feeling. Spirit is saying with this card, your intuition may be confirmed. If you've been feeling anything intuitively or sensing anything about him intuitively, this card may be confirming what you're intuitively feeling or thinking, and it may be different for all of you. So with the water element here, again, there's still a lot of emotions and an outpour of that he wants to give you. I do think he wants to reach out for closure, and I do think he still wants that new beginning with you, but he also respects it if you don't want that. So he doesn't want to pour into you if you're not going to pour into him back, if that makes sense. Because that's just hopeless. But with the water element, he does still feel all those emotions towards you. Because the water element is about feelings, right? Then we have Azurite, Saturn, and discipline. Although there was a very beautiful relationship between the two of you, there was also a lot of hardships and lessons he feel he must learn, and he's trying to learn from them right now. It's very hard with discipline. It's very hard to stay disciplined and to not go back to his old ways of how he used to think and be, but try to find new ways of doing things, new perspectives of things, and try to learn from the lessons that took place. Try to learn from the problems and find solutions to them. So he's trying to do that right now, not just for your relationship, but just for himself to be able to find something good out of this. Take the pain and turn it into something that changes him into a better version of himself, that strengthens him, but doesn't toughen up his heart. He wants his heart to stay soft and open towards the possibilities of love again, more preferably with you. We have flower, agate, throat chakra, and expression. So this card kind of confirms what I said earlier, that he does want to reach out to you and talk to you soon, but not right now. He doesn't feel like right now is the right time. He first wants to build things up and make sure he completely understands everything he's learned, completely heals, completely getting his life together and his act together before he reaches out. And then he's going to express what he feels towards you about the situation. So I guess time will tell, but I do see him intending to reach out with the throat chakra. Okay, so this is what I see in your reading. This is how he feels in your absence, pile 3. Wonderful reading. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.